Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Outside again in the great outdoors, living my best life. Now, what we are here today to look at is something that we looked at a few weeks ago, but only very quickly. And that is because it was part of the $600 challenge that I did with some other YouTubers. But today we are here to look at the Able Carry Daybreaker. Now, what I'll do is I'll leave a timestamp here so that you can see when this content starts, because there's a couple of housekeeping things that I want to check beforehand. Now, I have definitely been listening. I know it's something that I brought up in the last few videos about the sound. I think it must be something to do with my camera. I'm constantly fiddling with settings. I think I've changed a setting somewhere. I just can't work out what it is. It's probably the smallest tick box somewhere. So what I've done is I've reset everything. I've done factory reset on my camera to reset everything, hopefully to what it was back when I started doing this. Now, I'd love to hear in the comments below, how does the audio sound now? Does it sound better? I'm using my shotgun mic as I have done for the last 2 years. Yeah, I'd appreciate. Yeah, how does it sound? But yeah, let's get into it. So Able Carry. Now, Able Carry is a company. I've done quite a few bits for them, and all full disclosure, this was sent to me. But the conversation that I have with Able Carry, that I have with all of the companies that I work with, Able Carry are very receptive to this as well. And that is that, you know, everything that I say today will be my honest and you know, everything that I will say today will be my own opinion, and it's something that, as I mentioned, you know, Able Carry really like that, because they like honest feedback, which I mean, I certainly appreciate with companies to work with. And yeah, let's get into it. Able Carry Daybreaker. I'll turn the camera on while I'm doing that. If you do enjoy this content, you know, hit that like, subscribe and share. If you do choose to do that, I'd like to thank you at this point. But for now, let's take a closer look at the Daybreaker. So as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements, some materials, and then we'll have a look at the features of the bag itself. This bag is a 25 litre day bag. Now, the Daybreaker, as you'd expect, you know, it's a very day out style bag, which I've used this for day trips. I also took this when I went away on holiday this year as well, and it certainly did really well for, as it says in the name, you know, little day trips, day breaks out. 25 litres means that you can fit just enough in here. I'm glad that they went for the 25 litre mark with this. Had they gone for the 20, I think obviously you'd be able to fit a little bit less in here. Generally, I'm the type of person that tends to take a little bit more than I actually need, so those extra 5 litres certainly helped whilst travelling with this bag. Measurements then come in at 500 millimeters by 260 millimeters by 190 millimeters deep. There is a laptop sleeve in here, which we'll have a look, which I suppose I might as well give you the dimensions at the moment. So when this is opened, there is an internal sleeve at the back, which you can put things into. The dimensions of that, you can fit up to a 15-inch laptop in there, and the dimensions of that come in at 400 millimeters by 260 by 40 millimeters deep, depending, well, there's no depending on that one, you can't really change the dimensions of that, but yes. I've also been able to fit my 16-inch laptop into here when I've been taking this to work. However, that's only in the main compartment. I've not actually been able to put it within that laptop sleeve. Weight-wise, the beauty of this really comes down to, one, the material that it's made from, and it's almost quite Spartan in the way that it is. So you have the main compartment. There's no sort of easy access panel on the front. You have a water bottle on the side. There's a quick thing on the side for putting your stuff into. But what they've done is they've been able to reduce the weight down considerably with this, and it comes in at 560 grams. Now, 560 grams generally is the type of waste packs, those smaller style packs that I like to look at, small sling bags. So to be able to get a 25 litre pack that comes in at just a fraction over, I mean I suppose it's a tenth over over half a kilo, I think they've done a very good job with this. Materials wise, all of the materials through this, so actually there are two versions. So there is a grey version, I think they call it the Castle Rock grey, which is this one. There's also a black version. The grey version, which is this one, comes in a VX21 X-pac material. If you're new to X-pac material, this is the stuff that is made to, well, they call it sailcloth, mainly because this is the material that they use when you see these large ships in, like, is it the America's Cup? Is that golf? I think the America's Cup is the sailing. But those sailing events that you see in the Olympics, the sails are made from this material. It was designed in Germany, and it's all X-pac is made in the USA. So that's this Castle Rock grey version. The black version comes in a ripstop Cordura. Now I tried to see if I could find which denier of the ripstop Cordura that it comes in. I couldn't quite find it on the website, so I'll try and see if I can link it below, or in the future I'll make sure I put that down in the description. I'm probably going to guess it will be maybe around a 300 to 500, trying to keep the weight down. The newer ripstop Corduras, they certainly help to reduce the weight when you use some of the lighter ones like a 250 or a 3 or a 500. All of the plastics on here are DURAFLEX plastics, all of the zips, especially the zip here on the top, and yeah, it is a zip on the side as well. So all of the external zips use YKK AquaGuard zippers. There is a zip here on the inside, but because this is on the inside, it's just a normal, I suppose I say normal, but it's one of the newer RC YKK zippers. As far as all of the webbing on here, so there's some webbing here on the side, which is a grab handle. There's another grab handle here, and then you have the webbing that is part of the suspension system. Uses this really nice, smooth, almost like seat belt webbing, and also the grab handle here at the top, which again is really nice. I suppose I'm jumping on a point, but the webbing here as well, they have this A-frame system, so the webbing comes down all the way through the suspension system, through here, and it's the same continuous piece of webbing that then comes through to the front. And what this does is, because it sits underneath here, it just helps to support that, which again, it stops any movement whilst you're carrying, and also help to distribute some of the weight while it's in there. Now, as far as features, I suppose I've really touched on quite a few here already. So the front is a very minimalist, kind of sleek front. There's no zips here or here to be able to get into any sort of quick access pocket. So if you're the type that really does like to have a minimal carry or a very plain Spartan style carry, this is perfect for that. You have some I suppose D-links or D-hooks here at the top, which is made with the same webbing material that you can just add things on if you choose. I suppose you could also add some bungee cord through here if maybe you wanted to put something on. Moving here to the left-hand side is another clear panel. Apart from here at the bottom, you have some really nice subtle able carry a logo on there, and then there is a little zip pocket here. Now this zip pocket, I know you can see this, but there is some stitching that comes just down here, which stitches this top fold into the seam here, and then stitching that goes down to the bottom. So that's what they use. So if you can see, my finger's just in here at the moment, and then there is a stitching line here. So this pocket, if you needed to, you can fit an umbrella into this, especially if it's one of those compact ones. You just have to do that thing where you push it in and then slide it over. There's some really nice mesh in here, and then there is also a little key stay, so that if you want to put your car keys in there, then you can do. I'd always advise putting your keys on there just in case you are doing a city break and somebody tries to get inside. The zips on the outside all have this really nice little pull tab on there, which is made from that material. It's just gone out of my brain. Come on, Moorlander, what's it called? It's the stuff that they make boats out of. I'm just gonna have to put it there. What is it? Damn it! The joys of, yeah, of having a terrible memory. What is it? Anyway, so here on the side you also have another little grab handle, which is great just for, personally for travelling, to be able to have this when you're putting stuff in luggage compartments. It's great because it just means you can grab this bag from whatever angle. But then what they've also done is, using the top and the bottom, they've put in some box stitches about, I don't know, 20% of the way down and 80% of the way up, so that you've also got some additional loops here that you can use for daisy chains if you did want to store anything on the side. The other side, you have a similar grab handle with the 2 daisy chains at the top, and then you have a nice large water bottle compartment. Now this is a gusseted water bottle compartment with some stretch material on here. This is a 750ml clean canteen and it fits in perfectly. You can fit in a larger 1 litre Nalgene style bottle as well, but I think for this style bag, I think that clean canteen looks perfect on there. Moving on to the top, you have a great little grab handle, which again uses the similar material as the other ones. So I have a medium to large sized span, and yeah, it fits in there. I certainly don't have any difficulties getting in and out. For the main section, you have one zip. Oh, sorry, you have an ambi open to this large section in here. Now what I've got in here, so whilst I was away abroad, I also have one of these able carry cooler bags, which is, I'm not going to say saved my life, but it's saved the lives of a lot of beers while we were away. This thing's brilliant. So this is the same, so it's made from this VX material. You can put at least 3 or 4 cans on the inside. I've been using this with 4 cans. It does come with a strap as well, but I keep the strap off mainly because I've been putting it into other bags. Yeah, this thing's brilliant. And then on the inside here, so I have my little tech pouch that I tend to move between different bags. Then I have my larger tech pouch from Alpaca gear, which is absolutely amazing. For the Alpaca gear, I can leave a link here wherever it is that goes. And then I'll tell you what, I'll put that on one side for a second because that'll make sense. Then you have this large pocket here, and this is where the main volume of that 25 litres comes in. All of the stitching on the inside is beautiful. It's all straight. It's all perfect. There's no the attention to detail. There's no stray fibres or anything like that. On the left hand side here, you can see the mesh, which is that external pocket here on the left. And then across here on the back here is where you then have your laptop sleeve. Additional little features on the inside, so as this flap comes down here, hopefully you'll be able to see that there is some nice mesh here that you can use for an additional pocket. So if you wanted to store something in there, like my wallet, I can put that in and then I know where it is. It's inside my bag if I ever need to come back to it. There's also a little hook here, or a little D-ring here at the top, so if you want to suspend something on the inside, you can do. Now that always makes me think, as far as water bladders, there aren't any holes for a bladder tube to come out of, but you know, all you need to do is leave a small gap in the zip and you can have that on either side. Especially with it being ambi open, you can have that to go over either shoulder. Now one of the main features of this pack, if I take this out, you may have noticed that there's another zipper here. Now inside this zipper is, now I'm going to say a quasi frame sheet. And I say quasi frame sheet because, strictly speaking, I mean, it's not what you call a frame sheet that would give you a lot of support. It's about 5mm of this neoprene kind of dense foam, which does a great job. So when you've got your stuff in your pack, it helps you to make sure that whatever's in there isn't poking into your back. But the special beauty of this whilst travelling is, because of its minimal frame structure, if you wanted to, This will totally roll up so that you can put it into another bag whilst travelling, or if you're going with a large suitcase or something like that, you can even fold it down the middle, lie it flat within your suitcase so that you can reduce the amount of room. This was really good for me. So I travelled with a large suitcase. I had another bag that I was using when I was actually on the plane, but this one went in the luggage in my carry-all, in the cargo, and it just takes up little to no room. So if you need to and you're concerned about taking other packs away with you, this is great for that if you want to take this as a secondary pack whilst travelling. On the back, so this is going to be all floppy now because I took that sheet out. I knew I shouldn't have done that while I was doing it. Now the retention system on here uses the traditional 2 straps which are stitched in. There is an additional piece that comes across here to make sure that this has got extra support to also make sure that, you know, under any sort of stress, these are held in place. All of the stitches on here use this really kind of funky triangular box stitch. You'll find that detail in all of the box stitches throughout the pack. So here, here along the sides, here where I mentioned the box stitches here, they all have this little triangle. I'm guessing it might be the A from Able Carry, but I think it's a nice little detail. I like when companies go into this sort of detail when they make things. But they go over on the back. There is some mesh on here to make sure it keeps you reasonably dry and also helps to wick away some of that sweat. You then have your webbing here. There is a sternum strap. The sternum strap can be removed rather than it being fastened onto this. It uses one of these T-style lockers, so it pushes through and then you can quite easily be able to adjust that depending on which height you prefer to have it. Plastic buckles, they then have an additional fixture as well here to make sure that your excess webbing doesn't flap around too much, and then it curves under to where I mentioned we have that A-frame here underneath, which again, you know, it really does help to support your contents in there. One thing I didn't mention is with the A-frame you have 1, 2, 3. You have these box stitches on there, so again, if you did want to use this as a daisy chain for something in there, you can certainly do that as well. Now, one of the things to point out with this is because this back panel is just a single sheet of the VX21 X-pac material. There are no air channels in here. There's no additional support or padding other than that quasi back panel that, you know, I've removed. So I mean, it would be mad bad of me not to point out that as far as airflow through here, especially in the summer, there is little to no airflow. The X-pac material does a very good job of repelling water from it. So when it's on, you will find that you will get a wet back. Now, whether that's something, for me, it's something that I've learned to live with, mainly with the way that I've been using this, and mainly because I've used this as a secondary pack. But it is definitely something to point out that there is little to no airflow in here. Now, if I had the opportunity and there was a way that I could change this, what I would do is, within here, I would have pockets of padding. They only need to be, say, maybe an inch thick. Let's see if I can find... So if you had pockets of padding that went down like that, laterally, that would allow some airflow in and out. But then instead of having them going all the way down, you could have them either side with a gap through the middle. That way, it would still allow you to fold the pack, if that, you know, that's the way that you wanted to store it, or it will also still allow you to be able to roll the bag, because you'd have these staggered all of the way down, which again would help to do that. It's just a little thing to point out but overall I have really enjoyed testing out this bag. And the last thing, Able Carry, I love that they do this. So when they send it to you, they send it to you in this little cloth sack. I had this with my Able Carry Max, and I still have it with my Able Carry Max, because every time I finish using these bags, I put it away in its little sleeping bag. I love it, it's brilliant. So yeah, my wife thinks, you know, Mrs. Moorlander thinks it's daft that I keep doing it, but it's a great way of looking after your bag, and it's just another little attention to detail that Able Carry add to their packs, and I love just, you know, putting it to bed. Oh. Now, I definitely have to say that this is another winning combination from Able Carry. How many bags are we in now? I think this is the second bag. I think this is the second bag. There's the Max. Oh, I've also done some little pouches and things. Yes, that's right. So this is the second backpack that I've tested, and they are going from strength to strength. I really do think that they're making some good decisions on how they're making the packs. There is that slight caveat as far as the back panel is concerned. I think mainly because I've tested this through the summer, I have been hot whilst I've been carrying this. You know, this is the United Kingdoms. Even here in the Kingdom of the Moorlands, we don't have the warmest of summers, but it's been very warm this summer, so that plays into the factor whilst I've been testing this. But even in Turkey, you know, I did get hot with this. If there was a way that they could add just the slightest air channel in there and still have it so that you could fold it, I think it would be a winner. But even then, I certainly don't want you to think that that's a downside of this pack. It's certainly something that you need to keep in mind if you live in a hot or humid climate. It's definitely something to keep in mind. But it really shouldn't put you off using this. Yeah, I like it. It's a good pack. So I'm stuck for a while then, didn't it? So, as always, there will be some links in the description below so that you can see more from Able Carry. Some of those may be affiliate links. Now, it's to no extra cost to you. Generally, I try and see if I can find the best value for money links, but it just helps me to fund my channel so I can continue to make content like this and other pieces of content where I'm not provided with review items as well. I'll also leave some of my social media links in the below. Generally, I'm on Instagram a little bit more than I am anywhere, so if you find me on Instagram, that'd be awesome. But yes, for now, stay safe. Oh, let's add one to this. If you're in the UK this weekend, keep hydrated, keep your electrolytes and salts up. If you're getting outside, definitely make sure you slip, slap, slop it on and take some water out with you. But whilst you're out, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. If you're curious where this is, so this is some woods on my land. The locals, they refer to this as the woods of Hanchurch. But you know, it's just somewhere that I come out and I do my Moorlander duties. I take care of the trees. We chat, we talk. Yeah, you know, Dave, he's a birch. Helen over there, she's I forget what she is. But yeah, you know, as the Moorlander, it's important that I come out onto my land, the Church of Hanchurch, the woods of Hanchurch, which got its name from. So, so we Moorlanders are pagans by our main religion, but we, you know, we holy as in with a W, accept that there are other religions out there, and we were the first nation here in the UK to set up a church and a monastery for some Christians back in the day. It was 1218 BC. Yeah, we set up a church, which was, you know, it was good. Romans came over and totally destroyed it, but you know, that's the Romans. They did some crazy stuff back in the day. Yeah, Hanchurch, gorgeous place. A little bit of history. maybe I should start adding in some more history about the Moorlands and myself as the Moorlander and my official role. That'd be a little snippets. Derek, he's a Dutch spruce.